We are joined right now by Chris Cox, reporter at KTOK in Oklahoma City. And Chris, thank you for joining us. Appreciate it. Okay. Chris, you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, good. Thank you. Yeah, and I hear you now. Thank you very much. The devastation that we're watching on television is unspeakable. It looks like a war zone. It looks like, just complete and utter devastation. And when you say only, I don't want this to be taken the wrong way, but when you look at that and you look at the intensity of the storm and the magnitude of it all, and the number is what, 24 people perished, including those poor little children. But I guess, right. Is it attributable to the advanced warning that so few, did actually die?
I think that has a lot to do with it. With our meteorologists here in Oklahoma City, they know exactly what to look for. So we were being warned, going back to probably last Friday, that a storm like what happened yesterday could be on its way. So most Oklahomans were, especially in this area, were prepared for it. Now, sometimes it's not good enough unless you can actually get underground. But they did the best that they could to warn everybody.
Talk about the erroneous reporting that we had last night. The death toll was put at over 50. We had reports of almost 24 children killed in 2 different schools. And this is something we've seen, in tragedy after tragedy, whether it's a shooting or a natural disaster, where the reporting turns out to be faulty. The early reporting turns out to be faulty. Thank God the numbers are less, and thank God the numbers relating to the children in the school were less. But how did that happen? What was that attributable to?
Well, they think it had to do with double reporting. Different agencies saying the same person or the same group of people had perished. Also, some of that has to do with people who weren't found at the location where they were at when the tornado hit, but were later found at another location. So it's a mixture of a few things. I don't think it was anybody trying to purposefully put the death toll higher than what it actually is. I think it was just some miscommunications and just people, reporting what they were seeing, and then those numbers just kind of getting jumbled together. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely. How does a community deal with something like this? I mean, back in '99, as you know better than I, it went through something very similar. Whether or not this one is worse or not, that could be judged on various levels. But it's 14 years separated, but it's another huge hit with more death and destruction and having to start over again for many people, some of whom had already started over again. How does a community, a town, come together, and how do people persevere?
The town and Oklahoma as a whole is very good about coming together and helping out when need be. A bunch of the churches of all faiths from the area have opened up their doors as shelters and as donation centers. Some of the buildings that are still standing have opened up the doors. The University of Oklahoma, which is about 15 minutes south of Moore, the president of the University of Oklahoma opened up the dorm rooms and said, anybody who needs a place to sleep, you can come here. So it's a mixture of everybody knowing the tragedy, and a lot of people in this area knew somebody who in some way, shape, or form was affected by the tragedy, and so we all want to help in some way possible.
Is there expected to be more bodies found? Are there still a big number of people missing, or not?
Honestly, I'm not sure. Just my own personal opinion, I would guess the number will probably go up. They're still looking for people. I mean, the recovery just kind of got going yesterday before it got dark, and they had to bring out lights. So then they were focused on specific areas. So no telling what's going to come out, overnight tonight and into tomorrow morning.
Okay. Well, listen, I appreciate your update, Chris. Chris Cox, reporter at KTOK in Oklahoma City. Thank you very much.
Thank you.